This is unusual for me to be here like this. Normally, you know, you either got an whole band or some friends and family. But George called me up the day before yesterday and said, well, I had a cancellation and we need you to fill in. And I said, oh man, I was just getting home from a tour that's been going pretty much since last February or something. And I thought, what the hell? And here we are. Get you down here first, and just make sure we're actually working. Good enough. What was the deal?
I said, I'm a happy man in my life. If I can be a
You'll die a happy man. How many want him to die happy? I'm not asking the wife. I remember, I know, Dave, that's there. We have to do it. We don't actually have a set list up here. And just going to wing it. Just sing some songs I love singing. You know? Freight train, gone so fast. Freight train, gone so fast. Please don't tell them which train I'm on, so they won't know which route I've gone. When I die, just bury me deep, way down on the old Chestnut Street, so I can hear old number 9 as she goes rolling by. When I'm dead and in my grave, no more good times shall I crave. Just place my head in my head and stone in my head. Me tell my friends that I've gone to sleep. Freight train, gone so fast. Freight train, gone so fast. Please don't tell them which train I'm on, so they won't know which route I've gone. Now, please don't tell them which train I'm on, so they won't know which route I've gone. I had a dear friend of mine whose pictures paintings on the wall back here downstairs, a guy named Boyd Axton, great songwriter, good buddy. He wrote songs like Joy to the World, stuff like that, you know. And Boyd was not only a dear friend, he was a cousin of mine. Our family's from Oklahoma. And so I remember in the 50s, during what we used to call the folk scare, there were a lot of young college-type students sort of discovering the old folk songs, you know, wearing sweaters with numbers and letters, singing chain gang ballads, whatever. It was good. I mean, it was interesting, educational, all that stuff. But Boyd was singing his own stuff. He wrote songs like, well, I don't give a damn about it, bring you back dollar. And he didn't. You know, he was authentic, he was real. And not only that, he was big. And he was big for Oklahoma. He was football big. And so for a little skinny guy like me, you know, long-haired hippie kid back in the 60s, it was great having a buddy Mike Point. You could go anywhere. And he wasn't afraid of nothing either. He had this look in his eye, this, wasn't actually looking for trouble, but it wasn't purposely avoiding it. You know what I mean? And so we had a great time together, and I remember one time I went to see him in a little club. It was about the same size as where we are tonight. It was in Los Angeles, a place called the Troubadour, and our series is named after that. It was a great place in those days. That painting was hanging in the Troubadour. And I went to hear what. He was playing up there just by, you know, himself like I am right now. And there was some people talking in the crowd. And he looked out there and said, "Quiet down out there." And they just kept talking like he wasn't even saying anything. He said, "I said quiet down out there." And they just kept talking. He puts down his guitar, walked out into the crowd, picked up two people, one in each hand, walked right out the door. The door closed, you could hear stuff banging, breaking, people screaming, yelling, you know. The door closed, it comes quiet. Now this time the rest of the crowd is deathly quiet. Gets up on the stage, picks up his guitar and says, "I shouldn't have done that." I love what he said. We swapped songs on each other's records back years ago. This is one that I recorded decades ago. I hadn't actually got to sing it live until the last couple of few years or something. It's an old Floyd song. It goes something like this. And I dream in the morning that she brings me water. And I dream in the evening that she brings me wine. Just a poor man's daughter from Puerto Rico, Evangelina in old Mexico. There's a great hot desert south of Mexico, and if you don't have water, then you better not go. Tequila won't get you across the desert to Evangelina in old Mexico. And the fire I feel for the woman I love is driving me insane, knowing she's waiting, and I just can't get there. Lord only knows that I rack my brains to try to find a way to see that one in old Mexico. I met a kind man who guarded the border. He said, "You don't have papers, but I'll let you go. I can tell that you love her by the look in your eyes now. She's the rose of the desert in old Mexico." And the fire I feel for the woman I love is driving me insane, knowing she's waiting, and I just can't get there. Lord only knows that I rack my brains to try to find a way to see that one in old Mexico. And I dream in the morning that she brings me water, and I dream in the evening that she brings me wine. Just a poor man's daughter from Puerto Rico, Evangelina in old Mexico. That's a great hot desert south of Mexico. And if you don't have water, you better not go. Tequila won't get you across the desert to Evangelina in old Mexico. She's the rose of the desert in old Mexico. listening to the old record, you know, and stuff like that, sitting around the living room. And after the rehearsal that day, my wife Jackie was here tonight filming, comes walking down the stairs. And we'd been married 40 years back then, you know, whatever. And she comes down, she says, honey, I didn't want to say anything before now, but boy wrote that for me. She's both surprised. You'd think 1 out of 12 strings being 2. What happened to did last year. I was talking about Jackie, my wife, you know, I don't know if the Chief, are you here tonight? Chief Wilcox?
Yeah.
You are? I can't tell the story then. Okay, I'll tell it anyway. There might have been what happened, what do you call it when the crime's been committed so long ago you can't do anything about it? Yeah, I'm hoping that's true. So it was a couple of months ago. I was in Germany with my wife, and so, oh, maybe that's good. And so we're getting on the plane to come back, and I discovered that she's smuggling stuff. You know what I'm saying? I've been through this. I didn't want to go there again. I had, you know, images of all kinds. First of all, she was smuggling liverwurst. She was a liverwurst smuggler. So why are you bringing liverwurst back? You know, she said, well, it's not the same back home. By the time they put the nitrate and this treatment and that, whatever it is, it's not liverwurst anymore. I'm bringing the real stuff back. And I said, my God, I can see it now. We get to the airport, you got anything worth, you know, you got to tell them about, no. And then the liverwurst dogs come to stop it. Try to explain it. And it's not like there's a little, I'm talking a suitcase full of, I mean, this isn't like the first time that I've had trouble with her. I mean, this was just a couple of months, last year or something like that, where we live up in this area, the nearest airport that actually goes somewhere is down in Hartford, Springfield, in Bradley. And so it takes about an hour and a half for us to get down there through the back roads, and we've been doing that for 40 years, no problem. So I'm taking her to the airport about a year, less than a year ago. And we get there, but you know how it is. You don't actually stop when you drop people off anymore, or even pick them up. You just sort of slow down, and somebody's waiting, keep moving, you know. And so you get the door open, out goes the stuff, out you go, got the cell phone? Yeah, call you later, bye. I'm driving home. The phone rings, it's my wife. Honey, come and get me. I said, what do you mean come and get you? But to cancel the flight or something? She said, no. I've been arrested. I said, you've been arrested? She said, yeah, I can't talk about it now. I'm in handcuffs. Just come and get me. So I'm turning the car around. I'm calling the kids. Mom's been arrested. Meanwhile, the Connecticut State Troopers are calling me on the cell phone, giving me instructions as to how to pick her up. You pull the car into the no parking zone behind the squad car that's parked there, and you get out and stand around in the no standing zone, and we'll bring her out to you or something like that. Oh my God. So I'm standing there. Eventually, out comes my wife, handcuffs behind her back, big Connecticut State Trooper leading her along, 3 or 4 of his friends for security or whatever, you know. And then this gigantic Connecticut State Trooper comes over to me. He says, Mr. Guthrie, first of all, I'm a fan. Starts mentioning these obscure records of mine that even I don't have, you know what I'm saying? And the other guys with him say, oh, I got that one too, but I like the other one. The other guys say, well, I got to get that one. And they're talking. I'm saying, well, let's stop. Tell me what happened. They said, oh, well, what happened was we saw a bank going through security, and it had a tag on it that said Arlo Guthrie. we says, we know he's not here. What kind of idiot is pretending to be him? So they decided they're going to open it up, and in there is a little tin. Somebody had given me at a gig. I said, thank you very much, tossed it in the suitcase, forgot all about it. It has a picture of a botanical plant on it, you might say. It's familiar to a lot of people, under which the name Amsterdam was wrote. They said, we better open this up. So they opened the thing up, and out comes this stuff. It's not just the picture, it's the real stuff. It's coming, flying everywhere. They're picking up evidence, whatever, putting it in this baggie or whatever. She said, I didn't know that was there. They're going, right, lady. You know, so they're hauling her off. And eventually, they discover who she is, and they said, Mrs. Guthrie, we are so sorry. We really have better things to do these days than arresting people for this stuff. And frankly, if we'd have known it was you, we would have never bothered. But now that we've arrested you, we can't unarrest you. So we got to take you down and process you and put you in a little cell, but it'll be fine. We'll call the husband, he'll come and get you. So they're telling me the story here. I'm doing the handcuffs. She's been there an hour and a half, and you know, she knows everybody by their first name by this point, and she's a serial hugger, you know, so she's very, thank you very much, you know, back them up, oh my God, hippies or something, you know. To get her out of there, I have to take pictures with your resin officer, whatever, you know. Here's an old song for my wife. From London, from over the pole, flying in the big airliner, she can fly everywhere around the plane. Could we ever feel much finer? Coming in the Los Angeles, bringing in the top of the key. Don't touch my bags if you please, Mr. Customs Man. There's a man that could take you to Mexico. Stranger, walking in the wall with his face and all, smiling said it was the Lone Ranger, coming in the Los Angeles, bringing in the top of the keys. Don't touch my bags if you please, Mr. Customs Man. There's a woman walking on the moving floor, tripping on the escalator. That's a man in the line. She's blowing his mind, thinking that it's already made her. Coming in the Los Angeles, bringing in the top of the keys. Don't touch my bags if you please, Mr. Customs Man. Coming in from London, from over the pole, flying in a big airliner. Chicken flying everywhere around the plane. Could we ever feel much finer? Coming in the Los Angeles, bringing in a cup of the keys. Don't touch my bags if you please, Mr. Customs Man. It's funny how the old songs come in handy from time to time. Of course, not just mine, you know. I got back from, I left Germany earlier than I anticipated because it was my dad's 99th birthday, mid-July, and I wanted to get up to Madison, Wisconsin, where I thought he'd be, and sing some songs with the, you know, union guys that were running around the Capitol. Thank you. I know the words, I just can't remember them like I used to. Frankly, I'm feeling for free these days like I used to have to pay for it. Be patient. Anyway, so I got up there, did a little show and a fundraiser for the union guys, and I started thinking, wait a minute, who would have thunk that back this far, I mean, this many years, from the days when my old man and his buddies were out there singing in the union halls, trying to organize everybody and get things going, make life a little better for working people, you know, that, I mean, here we are this weekend thinking about these things, and But I was thinking about it back then, and I thought how strange that is, that it should come around again, and how wonderful to see so many people out in the streets talking about it. And some people are for it, against it, whatever it is. I know it takes, 6 union guys to carry this guitar from the bus to the stage in New York City, Somebody's doing all right. But that notwithstanding, it's nice to have a weekend. It's nice to have things like that, where people are actually paid for what they do. And so I was thinking about some of these thoughts just a little while back, and by accident that morning, I happened to be reading the Constitution. I wasn't actually reading it, don't get me wrong. I was just looking at it, and I got to the first part there, that little preamble at the very beginning. And we all know, we the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union. I got that far and said, whoa, Glenn Beck's not going to like this. America is a union. You know what I'm saying? It's the very first reason for having a country. It's written right there. There's no way around it. You can't be anti-union and pro-America at the same time. That's just the way it is. Me the story, but Dad used to tell what him and Pete Seeger and some others was singing in this union hall. They was going to be there for a few nights, having this big organizing thing going on. And they went there and they sang their songs the first night. After the show, they walked off the stage, and a woman come out of the crowd, and it accosted my mother. She said, "Mr. Guthrie." That was very nice. But there wasn't one song that you guys sang that had anything to do or say about any of the women that are working just as hard as some of these guys here. She said, "I belong to the Ladies Auxiliary," of the whatever union it was. She was going on and on. My dad and Peter backing off, and they went home that night and they wrote a song. And it went something like this. There once was a union made that never was afraid of the dues and bids and company banks and the deputy sheriffs that made the race. She went to the union hall where the meeting it was called, and when the Guthrie's boss come around, she always stood her ground. Said, "You can't scare me, I'm sticking to the union. I'm sticking to the union. I'm sticking to the union. No, you can't scare me, I'm sticking to the union. I'm sticking to the union till the day I die." Now the union maid was wise to the tricks of the company's spies. She never got fooled by the company's stool. She'd always organize with the guys. She always got her way when she struck for higher pay. She'd show her card to the company guard, and this is what she'd say. "No, you can't scare me, I'm sticking to the union. I'm sticking to the union. I'm sticking to the union. No, you can't scare me, I'm sticking to the union. I'm sticking to the union till the day I die." So they went back the next night and they sang their new song, and after a few other songs they got off the stage, they walked out. The same woman come back. She said, "Mr. Guthrie." That was very nice. But it didn't mention the Ladies Auxiliary. He wrote her a song on the spot. Oh, the Ladies Auxiliary. It's a good auxiliary. Not the best auxiliary you ever did see. So if you need an auxiliary, try the Ladies Auxiliary. That's the Ladies Auxiliary. And I will love that song. But he wrote about a lot of different things. Some of those things, and I'm thinking about it now because the centennial year is coming up next year, so me and the family are going to be working on a whole bunch of songs. By the way, my family and I are scheduled to play at the Colonial Theater in Pittsfield. Bruce wrote the date down. November 19th. So if you're sick of me, there'll be others. Funny how some of those songs just come around again. He once wrote that, if a farmer robs a bank, within moments, there's all kinds of people looking for that guy. You got the state troopers, and you got the local sheriff, and the chief, and you got the, deputy sheriffs, and you got the FBI, and all kinds of people running after this one guy. But if a man robs a farmer, nobody does much. He said robbery is a chapter in etiquette. I love that. If you gather around the children, it's a story I will tell about a pretty boy flawed down low, Oklahoma knew him well. He took to the trees and the timbers on the Canadian River shore, but the outlaw found a welcome at many a farmer's door. Wait, I think I screwed that up. I haven't sung this in a while. If you get around the children, any story I will tell about a pretty boy flawed down low, Oklahoma knew him well. It was in the town of Shawnee on a Saturday afternoon. His wife was hiding in his wagon as into town he rode. Their deputy sheriff thrust them in a manner rather rude, using both words of language, and his wife she overheard. Pretty boy grabbed a long chain, and the deputy grabbed a gun, and in the fight that followed, he laid that deputy down. He took to the trees and the timbers, and he lived a life of shame. Every crime in Oklahoma was added to his name. He took to the trees and the timbers on the Canadian River shore, but the outlaw found a welcome at many a farmer's door. There's many a starving farmer, you know the same old story told, how the outlaw paid their mortgage and saved that little home. And others tell you of a stranger who had come to beg a meal, and underneath his napkin left $1,000 bill. It was in Oklahoma City, it was on a Christmas day. There come a whole carload of groceries with a letter that did say, "You say that I'm an outlaw, yes, you say that I may be. Well, here's a Christmas dinner for the families on relief." You know, through this world I ramble, I've seen lots of funny men. Some around you with 6 guns, and some with a fountain pen. But it's through your life you ramble, and it's through your life you roam, you won't ever see an outlaw drive a family from their home. I remember, you know, as a kid trying to write songs, and my dad wrote over 3,000 of them, and some of them are still coming out. Does that make sense? I don't know how he pulled that off. I mean, what he did was, he had a daughter who was smart enough to collect all the songs, even the ones that didn't have tunes, and give them out to musicians these days, local, young musicians who are putting tunes to the lyrics that don't have them and creating new songs. And that's my sister Nora, and she's been doing that now for 15 years, and there's a lot of new material coming out. And I remember hearing about the first songs my father ever heard when he was a kid. His mother would sing him the songs, just like people even still today actually do from time to time. But in those days, that's all they did, because they didn't have they were just getting light bulbs and stuff. They didn't have radios and record players and all that kind of stuff. And so people would sit around and somebody would sing the old songs at night, put the kids to sleep. And there were songs for hanging out in the daytime and songs for getting up to and all kinds of stuff. And my dad wrote a little bit about the songs that he'd heard that his mother sang of my grandmother. He wrote down some thoughts about it. Stayed that way for decades, until just about 2 years ago, when my friend Janice Ian got a hold of the lyrics and put a little tune to it and brought the song to life. I just thought it was so pretty. It goes something like this. If I could only hear my mother sing again, if I could hear you now as easily as then, all the friends and family would sing along with me, set your spirit free. In my heart I hear you sing again. Every note is natural within. And when I sing those songs to family and friends, in my heart I hear you sing again. I know the troubled times that turned your hair to gray, and all the tears and sorrows follow to your grave. But deep within the heart of hunger, there were always melodies passed from you to me. And in my heart I hear you sing again. Every note is natural within. And when I sing those songs to family and friends, in my heart I hear you sing again. And it's a long, long road I've come since my mother's voice was heard. But the child I can't outrun still hangs on every word. And in my heart I hear you sing again. Every note is natural as then. And when I sing those songs to family and friends, in my heart I hear you sing again. In my heart I hear your voice again. Sometime back in the 70s, I think it was, and I was writing songs about some of the stuff that I thought was going on, you know, like what we did. And I remember it was a tough time, especially, you know, here in this country. The war in Vietnam was over. People were getting back from that, friends and neighbors, and it was a tough time here for them to get, a tough world to get back to. And at the same time, we had the old Soviet Union. They were still around, remember them? And they were over in Afghanistan then. They was having about as much luck there as we was having in Southeast Asia. I have to have something in common. I wrote a little song about it. I thought I'd sing it here tonight for some of the friends who remember that time. As he leaves Afghanistan, and back home they don't know too much. There's just no way to tell. I guess you had to be there, but I know that a war was hell. And there won't be any victory parades for those coming back. They'll hide them in midnight and unload the body sacks. And the living will be walking down a long and lonely road, because nobody seems to care these days when a soldier makes it home. Just say it wasn't easy, just another job well done. As the government in Kabul falls to the sounds of rebel guns, The faces of the comrades been blown out of the sky, leaves you bitter with the feeling that they didn't have to die. And there won't be any victory parades for those that's coming back. But my limited midnight and unload the body sacks, and the living will be walking down a long and lonely road, because nobody seems to care these days when a soldier makes it home. But halfway around the world tonight, in a strange and foreign land, a soldier unpacks memories that he saved from Vietnam. And back home they didn't know too much, there was just no way to tell. I guess you had to be there, but I know that war was hell. And there wasn't any big parades for those that made it back. They flew them in at midnight and unloaded all the sacks, and the living was left walking down a long and lonely road, because nobody seemed to care back then when a soldier made it home. The night is coming quickly.